Welcome back to What She Said Sports, the nighttime edition. We have some really good updates. Really good updates. Okay, so we're going to give everybody a chance to join us. Welcome back, everybody. I already see 7 people back there. Can we get the lights to match the people in the live stream? Thank y'all so much. Thank y'all so much. All right, so Travis Hunter, Shiloh, LaJonte, Sheduer, Cleveland Browns. All right, so that's our agenda for tonight. All right, so I had a video, and maybe it was good I didn't share it. So we're going to start there. So I told y'all there was this podcast that didn't make sense to me because it has approximately 50,000 subscribers, but they never have any views. They get like 100 or 50 or none or 1. Come to find out, guess who's on that podcast? Mary Catherine. Right. So I was like, what? So I'm like, let me see what she's talking about today. Right. Because I heard about the golf tournament and I was thinking about how cliquish it was based on who was there, like the old lineman, Gabriel, and I don't know if Flacco was there or not, etc. So that's what I was looking for. Then I said, it's that podcast. So I ran into Mary Catherine on the podcast, and I referenced this podcast before. I just didn't know she's on there. So essentially, they were talking about the quarterback battle, and they were talking about the personality of the quarterbacks, and they talked about Sheduer. And honestly, she had good things to say about Sheduer. But under the main video, which was about 30 minutes, they turned off the comments. And I was like, why would they turn off the comments, right? So she was basically, saying, and what they did is they took the main video and they split it up into like 10. And it don't have a lot of views. There's only one video. I think that's the main one that has like 1,000 views, which is a lot for them. So make a long story short, we're not going to talk about what she said about his personality because it wasn't bad. It wasn't bad. What she talked about are the quarterbacks and who's the best fit for Cleveland. Now, she always seems to start with Sheduer, and she did again. She said, well, Sheduer needs to learn how to not drift back in the pocket and not make negative plays. Now, let's understand this. We have not seen any of that, right? We haven't seen what she's talking about is from college. Why is she not referencing what he did in OTAs? And what she's talking about, people can't see because why? Cleveland did not share OTAs today. I did see some of it, but it wasn't 11 on 11s. It was just Sheduer passing the ball to Harold Fanning Jr. Nice pass, but no 11 on 11 like we saw with Travis Hunter. So she was essentially saying Sheduer has to learn how to not drift back in the pocket, not make negative plays. And then she talked about how Kenny Pickett needs to learn the terminology in the scheme. So he don't sound like he learned it at all, unless she's saying that that's what he's not good with. So based on what she said about Sheduer, which hasn't taken place since he's been in Cleveland, I don't know why you would say that. So she said she thinks that, she said Dylan Gabriel got a learning curve. We don't know if she meant from college or she meant now. See, that's the danger in that type of reporting, because are you talking about college? Because why? He's been in rookie minicamp for the Browns. He's already been in 7-on-7s and potentially 11-on-11s, depending on who you ask. And we didn't see it. So why are you mentioning that? So she mentioned Sheduer first. Kenny Pickett got to learn the schemes, got to learn the terminology. Dylan Gabriel got a curve, and Joe Flacco, blah, 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 got to learn too. So she said, even though he's a veteran, he still got to learn. So listen to this. She closed it. It's only like a minute-long video. She closed that part by saying she thinks that they might be open to trading Joe Flacco if one of the younger guys, the rookies, comes along. Okay, let's be clear. Sheduer's already prorated. We saw that for ourselves. I don't know why they decide to have one day this week, which is tomorrow, the only day for OTAs that the media can see. I don't really care for that because that's not being transparent. We don't know if what you're telling us is true, right? So we just got to deal with it. It's the last session for OTAs anyway. Tomorrow's the only day, so we'll be there. Now on that's the short video, the clip that they took, and they had the comments on for that. But the longer video, they had the comments off. And then she went on talking about, Sheduer drifting out the pocket and negative plays, and he took too many sacks. I'm like, why are you talking about his college experience? He has experience right here in Cleveland. See, I don't really like that. I'm just going to be honest with you. OTAs are closed. She's talking about his college experience as if he doesn't have any experience in Cleveland already, as if he hasn't been through rookie minicamp, as if he hasn't been through OTA session 1, and he's about to be in the cusp of OTA session 2. So why wouldn't she just say what we've seen of him in rookie minicamp, what we've seen of him in OTAs is good? Why wouldn't she do that? That's factual, accurate, current, present reporting. And when she says these things, whether it's about Gabriel, whether it's about Pickett, or whether it's about Joe Flacco, I don't know if she's referencing the past, or is she talking about since they've been in rookie minicamp or voluntary OTAs or OTAs for rookies. That's poor reporting, because I don't even know what point in time you're talking about. And if I can figure out that you're talking about Sheduer in college, I'm going to ask you why. Because why? He already has been through y'all rookie minicamp. You have things to report. How about report his stats and talk about what you see from that point? Okay, so he threw for 428 yards. He was 28 of 30. He threw for 5 touchdowns in one day. And we didn't see the drifting in the pocket. Because honestly, what does that come from? Me trying to get ready to run for my life because I know my O-line is not going to hold up. And she talked about that. She said, yeah, in FBS history, he took the most sacks, etc. She didn't say anything about his O-line. So to me, she's trying to paint Sheduer in a negative picture, and she wants to start with him first. She just said Dylan Gabriel had a learning curve. From where? Rookie minicamp? OTA session 1? Or today? Because we don't know. We don't know. But when you start negative with Sheduer, why you didn't start with Joe Flacco? Why you didn't start with Kenny Pickett? And she's like, Kenny Pickett has it seems like he possibly, if he could get the hang of it, he's the one that could be like the starter. What? Kenny Pickett's stats are about same for touchdowns and interceptions. So Cleveland is just, So I was going to share the video, but maybe God knew best. So the comments are off, and that might be a good thing, because I know people wanted to know, are you talking about right now? I think people coming for her. I think, verbally, I think people are calling her out. That's why she said Shedeur Sanders fan base, is loud and proud, because they coming at her because she's not doing factual, thorough reporting. She's picking and choosing what she wants to talk about. She's giving us the context. He asked her, who did he think was the best fit for Cleveland? Why are you telling me about college? The draft is over. He's on your team right now. So why you just don't tell us what it is you're referencing? Oh, in college he did this. Because she's intentionally setting him up to say what? And somebody said it either at the 12:30 or the 4:30. Watch Cleveland say he's not ready. And that's what she's setting him up as. Because I know she's talking about the past on the short clip, because I watched the long clip and I heard her talk about all of these sacks, and that has absolutely nothing to do with what happened with Cleveland. And she didn't mention his O-line one time. And that's why their comments are off, because people don't like that. It looks like you're intentionally painting a bad picture of him, and you didn't tell us anything good about rookie minicamp or OTAs, and they're closed this week. Why? So y'all can spoon feed us lies? I'm like, if Cleveland don't want to do it, there is a team out there that need a quarterback. So maybe y'all go watch it on your own. But that's the podcast I was talking about last time when I was telling y'all. They were talking about you got to separate Shedeur's fame from his play on the field. I'm like, what? In other words, like Odell Beckham Jr. I'm like, okay, first of all, Sheduer, I don't know Odell Beckham Jr. like that. Okay, but Shedeur Sanders is a good player on the field. And his fame is legit off the field. And it's not just because of a show that his dad had that people in this current time don't really know much about, unless you on YouTube. So it's the same podcast. And that's the one they bring her on to give her opinion. And to be honest with you, she's not doing anybody a service if she's not talking about what's happening in rookie minicamp where Dylan is concerned or Sheduer. And if one of these guys can perform better, well, maybe if you would have told us, lady, Sheduer did this in rookie minicamp. Dylan did this in minicamp, rookie minicamp, but maybe they can improve. It's called constructive criticism. He did this, but maybe he can do that. She's hanging on to what he did in a draft, and I don't know what the hell she's talking about with Dylan. I only know about Sheduer because I watched half of the long form video, and I know what happened with the O-line. And so do the announcers. When you listen to the games, they say it. Shedeur's O-line, they said the O-line doesn't give him time to even do anything, and it didn't. And she won't mention that. So to me, she's intentionally painting him in a bad light. So I think that's why the comments are off. That's what I think. Y'all let me know y'all thoughts. So Sheduer actually, there's one post. I've seen it in multiple places. People send it to me. Thank y'all so much, media team. Y'all are on it. It's just one pass to Harold Fanning Jr. So I said, well, since that's not much of anything, he completed it, just normal pass. No 11 on 11s like we saw with Travis. I said, well, who is Harold Fanning Jr.? Let's just look into that. Because I've heard his name a couple of times. So I thought he was a first round draft pick. He's a tight end. He went to Bowling Green, where Coach Eddie George is now, where he'll be his first season there. And he was drafted like number 3 in the 3rd round. So, yeah. So, I decided to learn more about him because it wasn't much. It wasn't much. So tomorrow's supposed to be the day. So y'all know at 12:30 tomorrow, we either gonna already have the footage or we gonna get it while we on live, but we gonna somehow, whether between 12:30 and 4 o'clock, we're gonna talk about the 11 on 11 footage whenever we get it, whenever we see it. So there's a channel, I'll tell y'all, it's called Shedeur Daily. I feel like that channel is somehow, they on top of it. So I don't know who it belongs to, but that's where I saw it first. And it was early during the day. And then the rest of the day, all of the other all the other platforms had it. So go follow Shedeur Daily on IG. That account seems to be pretty legit. So that's Sheduer. Now let's talk about Shiloh. All right. So Shiloh, Tampa didn't have 11 on 11s either. They were just working out against each other. I saw one clip, where they were saying good things about him, that they like his work ethic, and the mascot, the Buccaneer, was chasing him around, or he was chasing it around. Not much. And then when they were on the field, he just was going one-on-one against somebody else. And that was it. It wasn't much. Same thing. I watched Baltimore Ravens. Not much today. So I was like, well, okay, let me look for LeJounte. So I'm looking for LeJounte. And they lining up. They had DeAndre Hopkins. So he made his debut. I guess he just got there because he's a vet. And remember, LeJounte is the number 2 wide receiver behind DeAndre Hopkins. So they were all just, standing in the line, doing drills, catching passes. And right as LeJounte got up to the front, I said, oh, that's LeJounte. They cut away. I'm like, what? So I'm going to have to try again. But I've heard nothing but wonderful things about LeJounte. I didn't see anything on the Panthers because y'all told me earlier when we were live that seems that Jimmy Horn Jr. has pulled the hamstring. So I didn't see him. So, but I did see Bryce Young throw a dart to somebody, number 17. So I just wish a speedy recovery, for Jimmy Horn Jr. so he can get back out there because this is his moment. So, and he's doing good. So, I just hope that, this hamstring thing, I don't know how long they take to heal, but I hope they just come on with it and he gets back out there. Because this week is the last week for OTAs. Now, I don't know what rookies do after this week. I know there's a veteran camp coming up in June. So I don't know if rookies have free time. I'm assuming they're supposed to show up and work out every day until the first game. And it looks like they do make the final 53-man roster around August 29th because it's a deadline set by the NFL. So I found that out by looking at their older content that's out there. And then there's Travis. So I dropped a short about Travis. I put together a short. Jaguars got a lot of content. They got a lot of content. I like their page. I like their site. Like I said, they do interviews with the card. They love Travis. Travis played cornerback. I think I have footage. Let me see if I can share it. This is the video I put together. So let's see. All right, so y'all know when y'all can see. All right, let's see. So I think y'all should be able to see me, but I'm just double checking. And I'll just let the video play. So, why that's happening, people are putting out videos, saying that, Sheduer is ready to dominate. So maybe because they saw what I saw and realized that somebody's trying to paint the picture that he's not ready. And somebody on this podcast said it today. I think it might have been 12:30 or late last night. Watch, they say he's not ready. I don't know who said it, but I remember reading the comment, and that is what it is. So let's see. I'll play it again. So this is Trav. Trav is playing cornerback, very, very tight coverage, very good coverage. And this coverage ended in an interception on the receiver. So I don't know in the NFL if that would be a true interception. I don't know if the ball hit the ground or not, but he did get up with it. He looked like he secured it. And, we're going to watch it one more time. And then Trav balled out. So I shared this on Instagram, and I think it's on Threads. And here, I just haven't put it on TikTok yet. I get the TikTok last. But I do get to X pretty quickly. But I just reposted it when I saw some content regarding this originally, and I made this video. So yeah, Travis balling out. So you see how much his teammates like him, they respect him. And I told somebody earlier today, I love this for Travis. I love the fact, that he's getting this type of love, this type of the same thing he got at CU, but it's a new group of people. You know what that does for confidence with people who have low self-worth or maybe grew up with childhood trauma? It reinforces that you're the man. See, it's one thing to be at Jackson State, that's new people, but then you ball out there, and then you go to Colorado and you ball out there, and that's college. But when you get to your dream destination and they love you and respect you and say you're the man, that does so much. That does so much for somebody who grew up with trauma or who have low self-worth off the field. Yes, off the field can creep and cause problems, and on the field, because it's the same person. But understand, a lot of people, they'll tell you football is their escape. That's why so many of these guys never left the league. What was better? Do I believe they should have put their millions together and start a league? Yes. And maybe by now they'd be able to pay each other what they get paid now, but they didn't. So there's nothing else that comes close to this when that's been your dream since your grandmother put pads on you at 4 years old. Pads and a helmet. When you played every day with your cousin, and when Travis plays football outside, he looked like he playing outside in the backyard. And that's what we like about it. So what I did was I posted that Travis Hunter's first preseason game is August the 9th at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So we're going to try to find a way to watch that. We don't know what the heck going to happen in Cleveland. I will tell y'all, I was very surprised. Very, very surprised, even though I didn't care for her reporting, because she wasn't being very transparent as to the time frame she was referencing. And Sheduer has numbers now. She should be really talking about his Cleveland experience, because this is not the draft. So it's like she's just trying to justify why he's off the depth chart. Basically, that's what she's trying to do. That's why she keeps using that narrative. But I was very surprised to hear her say they might part ways with Joe Flacco if they think one of the rookies can get it. That is very, very, very interesting. I haven't heard anybody else say that. Anybody. And I don't think she would have said that if it was not this much truth to it. And it could be because he said he's not anybody's mentor. That's not what got him off of his couch. Now, remember, his contract had what? $4 million with $13 million in incentives. That's a lot of money. That's more than double. That's insane. But I don't know. That could be team performance. Then again, that could be individual performance. And right now, he's third on the depth chart. And one thing she cleared up for me, I told y'all, I have the depth chart. And I was like, why do they have Pickett at 2? Remember, I told y'all they traded for Pickett first right around March. So when they got him, they immediately made him 2 behind Deshaun. So Deshaun is 1, Pickett is 2, Flacco is 3rd, and Dylan is 4th. So when they drafted Dylan in the the 3rd round, they knew he was going to be number 4 on the depth chart. I don't think they expected much of him. There really is not a quarterback battle. They just got to figure out, are they going to go ahead and do the right thing, or are they going to risk it and try to shut him down? Because people are asking, why are we seeing Travis's OTAs? Why do we see everybody else practicing today? Why we don't see y'all practicing? Y'all are pushing out content to us rather than just letting us see. Sheduer is the person with all the views on their channels. And when they talk about him, NFL too, they get all of the views. So tomorrow is fast approaching. So we'll just see. And we're not going to concern ourselves with it. Why? Because Thursday is the last day of OTAs. This was the 2nd session. That's it. So there's no point in me worrying about it. But now we know who we're dealing with. And when she talks, you have to try to understand, are you talking about right now? And somebody needs to ask her, so what did he do since he's been with y'all? Because that was Colorado, and we know there was an O-line problem. I would love to be the one to ask that question. Maybe I'll put it in the comments. I mean, I'm very respectful, but it's a valid question. That's great. But that was at CU. He's been with y'all through rookie minicamp. How did he do? What did you see? He's been through 2 OTA sessions. What did you see? Since y'all want to feed us information, I'm going to ask you questions. Right? Because I don't know if what you're saying is true, because I don't know the time period you're referencing. Because I don't understand why you're talking about Colorado. So, you know. I mean, am I right? Am I right? Let me know. I mean, facts. That's a real fact. So I know why they turned the comments off on that video, but on the short form video, they left the comments on. So I might go back and be like, you know what? It is so nice to see, somebody on the inside, give us an up-to-date about Sheduer, because, a lot of the other teams were sharing information, but we didn't see much from Cleveland. And, as a Colorado Buff fan, I would just like to know, are you referencing Sheduer drifting back in the pocket and having negative plays? Because you mentioned FBS history or FBS this year. So that's okay. How is he doing since he's been a Cleveland Brown? Since y'all gave him the number 12? Like, tell me that. So it's like they trying to really say he's not ready. And somebody pointed that out. So whoever said it, facts. So let's see who's in here. I think that's everybody. Yeah, Travis is the one I had video. I think I had video of Shiloh too, but he wasn't playing ball. He was just out and about in Tampa. And y'all may have seen that. He was at Desi Banks. So I might share that separately. But, Shiloh's 4th on the depth chart. I think he's the furthest back out of the guys that I know of. Now, I have to check on Cameron Silver-Craig and BJ Green, and I'm going to do that tonight. But, that's a tough road to go. So, we're going to keep him in our prayers and hope, because, yeah, he is balling out, but I will tell you he is 4th on the depth chart. So hopefully that don't, because that's tough. So, but maybe because he's 4th and not 5th, maybe that works. But I just don't want y'all to be upset. I'm just letting you know. So Coach Prime was right. He got to work his butt off to at least try to get to number 3. And, I don't know. But they do like him. So maybe they look at him with some type of leadership, So I don't know. I'm just going to be honest. I don't know. Hey, Charlotte. Hey, again. Hey, Gracie. Hey, Political Ill. The gang is all back. Hey, Tina. Hey, Kimberly. Yeah, hit the like button for me, please. 35 of us, 35 likes, 74. Yeah, hit the like button, please. We don't know who you are if you want to be anonymous, but hit the like button. It said, did you see Travis Hunter today? Yes. Okay, you put that earlier. Right. So I'm glad I shared that. And I did list it as a short. So if y'all see it, make sure you hit the like button. Hey, Kiel, family and friends. How you doing? Blue Moon, how's everybody doing? Angela C, hi. Jerry, how you doing? Welcome back. Political Ill, is she the evaluation coach now? Yeah. I was like, oh, this is that channel with all of the subs and no likes. That's just giving bot energy. But it's just weird. And yeah. And it says, hey, Crowley, how you doing? It says she was talking about college for 12, which is in the past. Okay, Daniel, thank you. Why? See, I'm going to have to ask a question. I'm just kind of curious. Why would you be talking about college? So basically, You don't have anything negative about him. So you went back to see you to find something, and you didn't put it in context. You didn't put it in about his O-line. Yeah, he had 94 sacks, but she didn't talk about how he was sacked 52 times and only had 4 interceptions. And she said Kenny Pickett needs to learn the scheme and the what did she say, the vocabulary, the language or whatever. I'm like, he needs to learn more than that because he has just the same number of interceptions as he does touchdowns. So that's not going to help. Maybe that's why he's not learning it. He like, okay, because they say some of these guys like Will Levis just look defeated, right? And Kenny Pickett probably knows, okay, Joe Flacco sharing a locker with Jerry Jeudy, so I really don't need to know this. And he might be right. So trying to paint Sheduer in a negative light is not going to work. And that tells me that's why those comments are off. Because I went and checked. That was the only video recently, because I didn't go all the way back. But the little clips they took, the comments were on. Because they probably edited out the most negative parts. Like when she was talking about his FBF history, that's in the long form. That's sitting at 1,000. And if you got 1,000 views on a channel that barely get 100 on the videos, that means people had something to say and they turned the comments off. And they were talking about her. I'm willing to bet it. So yes, Daniel, you are absolutely correct. I'm going to pin that because yes. So yes, she was talking about the past. Because when I heard her say FBS, I'm like, wait a minute. Why are you not talking about now? So when she got to the part about, there's a clip that they did about the personality, all good things. He's always happy. We don't see any, he seems humble. I don't even know why they keep bringing that up. They know that was defamation. Well, we don't see anything like what the other teams were saying. I was like, okay, thank you for confirming. Thank you for confirming. But why were you looking for it? Because you knew it wasn't true. Y'all met with him extensively. You knew who he was. And they want to act like that didn't happen. They want to act like they did not meet this young man extensively. And you know who said it? I got the video. I think I uploaded it. Let's see. So that's Shiloh. Hold on one second. Maybe it didn't load because it said one of my videos didn't load. So y'all see that's Shiloh. So now you get to see it. Okay, see, God protected me. God protected me. He protected me because I already had a video of the first press conference and I saw it. I said, oh, we're going to look at this again. So it was the first press conference where they were discussing Sheduer and Kevin Stefanski and Andrew Berry were the two sitting there. Y'all probably remember because we talked about this already. And Stefanski was like, we know we interviewed with Sheduer extensively. We know exactly who he is. And then Andrew Berry repeated it. And I was like, okay. So she's talking like the team doesn't know him. Again, what do we say? Like they picked him up at Target. Like they was walking, they went to Target after when they picketing and they saw Sheduer and they like, hey, come on here. We said the same thing about how they act about Travis. And you know what I was thinking about? I said, you know what I find very interesting? How they don't want to give the college program any credit. How they don't want to say, man, Travis is good. He is a unicorn. They said that at CU. And when you look at his highlights, they good. Because what you think, they haven't seen him? They don't want to give the college program any credit. And I'm not saying that's just CU. I'm not saying that. Like, they might not want to give Oregon credit when Dylan does something good. They showed him throwing a pass, to the sideline that connected or whatever. Joe Flacco threw an interception today. That might be why they're willing to move on from him. He has not played a full season. They got him as if, well, we don't know what we're going to get, so you come over here. Or they were trying to go back to nostalgia, or maybe that was the strategy so they could get to their new stadium, which they might be getting anyway. They didn't have him after the 2023 season. He went to Indianapolis, and you go back and get him in 2025 when he was on your practice squad in 2023 and couldn't get you through the playoffs or the postseason. You had to go with somebody that didn't play all season. Well, you didn't have to, but that's what you did. So, this whole thing is starting to look like a sham, and more people are starting to see it. And the more she talks, the more people realize the fix is in, and she's setting us up just like they did in the draft. That's what she's giving. Like she's building up. We get ready to cut him, or we gonna bench him or we gonna put him on a practice squad because he's not ready. Like they're trying to justify why Kenny Pickett would start over Sheduer. She already said Dylan got a learning curve, so it don't sound like it's gonna be him. Basically, I felt like she dismissed him a little bit, but she did say that they might be willing to part ways with Flacco, and I find that very interesting all of a sudden because if he's sharing lockers with Jerry Jeudy, that's a recent development. They did that to make him the de facto QB so he could connect with Jeudy. I don't need to do that because he's not playing the whole season. And maybe since they were out there in OTAs and he threw that interception and Sheduer was out here looking good, maybe they're like, yeah, we're not going to do this. So, and then somebody had videos, with Jerry Jeudy saying nice things about Sheduer. I don't expect anything less from players. I would expect you just not to want to do the interview than to say something negative. And people are saying there's an interview going around with the Boitano, and I probably am saying his name incorrectly, so I'm going to listen to somebody else say it. That's the O-lineman, the one that was at the golf tournament, the one that seemed to be the leader of the O-line. They seem to be deferring to him, so I think he might be the de facto leader. And because they got some new guys, but they only talked to him. And I saw him at the golf course. And then that was a little cliquish. And so, he has some good things that people think maybe he kind of leaked out some information. I don't know. I'm just noticing that, it seemed like Joe Flacco might be the one after all. And maybe he want to be the one. Maybe he want out of this circus. I don't blame him. I really don't. Because in 2023, they had 5 quarterbacks in the regular season and 2 different ones. And pros, he probably know what to expect. Remember when she asked him about Shedeur's celebrity, he put his hand down like this and laughed. He might be sick of the circus. He might be sick of it because they say he came back and cleaned up his comments that he don't want to be anybody's mentor. He said, that's not why I got off my couch. So they basically went and got him off his couch. What did they expect? So he threw an interception today and, so we're going to see tomorrow. We own it. We're going to see tomorrow. It says, blessings. Hey, J Fick, how you doing? Priscilla says, is she drinking a Kool-Aid? Yeah, she is. She crazy if she think we listen to her. That's what gets me. First, y'all don't want to give the college program no credit. But then you want to talk about what he did in college. Which one is it? Which one is it? You act like they didn't go to college. You just found Travis and Sheduer at Target. Come on, put these jerseys on and let's do what they do. That's how they act. Travis is a unicorn. Duh. Travis won the Heisman. They act like they don't want to say it. It's like they don't want to reference these guys' time in college. And what do we see at the jersey reveal? The guy with the tight pants saying what? Leave everything you did behind. No. You bring your experience with you. That's why they drafted you. They want you to leave your NIL fame and celebrity behind. And the next class is already up because Sheduer started college in 2021 when NIL became a reality. So he's the first full class because, they don't have to go 4 years. So I'm thinking that might be right. 21, 22. Yep. 21, 22, 2 years at Jackson State. I think that's right. And then 2 years at CU. So that meant the guys coming out next year were the class of 2022 when it comes to being a freshman and playing ball. So they already had NIL for 1 year, even though it wasn't perfect, it was out there. And now you have players like Jeremiah Smith, who calls himself primetime, by the way, who plays for Ohio State. He gonna go all 3 years being rich. Travis and them didn't get that till they got to Colorado like that. And if you notice, it really wasn't materialized until midway through the first year. And then we just saw it the last year. So the guys coming after that living 3 years with money. Darian Mensah gonna be $8 million generated before he leaves Duke. And they want these kids to forget about that? No. You think more of yourself than you should. And I mean, you think more of your brand than you should right now. So, it was interesting to run across that page because at least I know now whose page it really belongs to. I don't know why they don't have a lot of views, but they look like they're working on it. And they did have the comments off. So if y'all watched the long form video, y'all will see what I'm talking about. And if I leave a comment, I'll be very respectful because I'm more curious to know why are you not mentioning, why are you not discussing him since he's been with Cleveland? The draft is over. So we'll see if I get a response because sometimes people respond to me, sometimes they don't. But, just our respectfulness, professional to professional because I think I'm a professional, and she unprofessional a lot, but maybe she just needs to realize, Sheduer not out here by himself. It is an army out here, who want to know why are you painting a picture that he's not ready. So they might go with Kenny Pickett. That's what I'm starting to get, even though he didn't learn the schemes. So unless they're gonna surprise us all and say, forget the $46 million, come on, Deshaun, let's go. And they could. It's crazy, but they could do it. It's crazy, but they could do it. They really could. And here's what they could do. They could trade Joe Flacco. They could keep Pickett, keep Sheduer, keep Dillon, and move somebody to the practice squad. Probably the one that she's saying not ready. And Deshaun could start. And they can say, you know what, don't worry about the $46 million. Because to me, when there are bigger things at stake, like keeping certain people from QB1, Deshaun Watson was already QB1. That's nothing. So if they don't trade two people, somebody is going to the practice squad. So somebody getting, cut, just waived and released and got to be at the mercy of somebody else picking them up. And from what I can see, I don't think it's Dillon. I could be wrong, though. Y'all let me know your thoughts. So she's trying to ignore his current performance. Right. And I think that's why they turned the comments off, because that's crazy. But this YouTube, who are you trying to convince? Most people on YouTube watch highlights, watch film, watch the games, and know more than a lot of these people that get paid, to be honest. So why would you put that out on YouTube and turn your comments off? Because you want to have your say. I don't know who you're trying to infect, but you turned your comments off because we're not buying it. That's why you turned the comments off. Because in the little clips, you didn't say that. So they knew exactly what they were doing. So yes, it said that probably explains why she doesn't have a lot of views. Right. Because honestly, all I hear is people don't care for her. That's all I hear. Now, there was one clip where they let a guy call in. They were like, oh, let's go listen to the voicemail. I was like, the what? They said the voicemail. I was like, I didn't know people did that. I thought they just called in or text, but they said voicemail. So it was a guy, and he was talking about Sheduer. Again, they talk about Sheduer a lot. And his question was, what kind of person is he really? Because initially, I believed y'all. That's what he said. Initially, I was with y'all, whatever they were saying about him at the other teams and stuff like that. And of course, I didn't want him. And he was like, yeah, and I didn't want him to go second. But since he's been there, he looks like a class act. He's out there, cleaning Joe Flacco locker or making sure he don't need anything. And that's true in terms of checking to make sure he's good. He seems like a class act to me. So what are y'all really seeing? And that's when she was like, yeah, he's happy. And the other guy, the host, he was like, yeah, he's happy all the time, genuinely, always in a good mood. She was like, yeah, we don't see him. We think he's pretty humble, not like what the other people were saying. We don't see any of that, this, that, and the other. So it was all good from that point. But, to bring up his college and what he needs to learn as if he has not been there for rookie minicamp OTA session 1 and almost tomorrow, halfway through OTA session 2 is misleading. And my question is, why are you misleading us and you turned your comments off? So you didn't want to hear what we had to say, but you wanted to mislead us. See, that's not acting in good faith. That's not acting in good faith. If I'm not mistaken, the rookies were told to forget about the past. I guess Mary Catherine didn't get the memo. Right. That's what I'm saying. I'm like, wait a minute. They told him to leave the past in the past, and here she come with what Sheduer did in FBS. Why you don't tell me what he did? Because he didn't do anything bad. Believe me, if Sheduer threw an interception, it will be everywhere. Believe me, it would be. All I heard was, yep, Joe Flacco threw an interception. That was it. Dylan Gabriel threw an interception. I don't know about Kenny Pickett. I was thinking Sheduer the only one who hadn't thrown an interception yet. So let's make sure nobody don't drop that ball tomorrow and see who catching these footballs out here. But you know, he the only one, unless Kenny. And I don't know about Kenny Pickett, to be honest. You know, I don't know if he threw one or not, but I know Dylan threw one. I know that Flacco threw one today. And I think Dylan threw an interception and he had a ball swatted down by Mason Graham, who I saw today. So, you know, I think they try to show other people love because Sheduer getting all the attention. What did the guy tell us? Yeah, I hang around Sheduer because the cameras love him. Thanks. So you can't deny who he is. So maybe they starting to realize, you know, there's a lot of fans out here. I mean, if they turning off their comments and she's asking him about his fan base, and now Flacco might be the one out because maybe he didn't get off his couch to be somebody's mentor and he don't want to be looked at as the grand wizard with all the information, because that's what he said. You know, he was like, yeah, they trying to make it seem like all the guys can come to me for life choices. They not asking him nothing. And not 23. And then they different, you know? So I don't see that. I don't see that happening. So, you know, things seem to be changing with that regard. Now, somebody came to me in the comments today and said, just be patient. Sheduer going to be QB1. I'm like, I'm not impatient. I'm just pointing out the fact that they playing. And they need to stop playing and just give the people what they want. So even the guy that called in and left the voicemail said, well, I like him. I just want to see what y'all going to say now, you know. So he was like, yeah, this kid is a class act. You know, he does all the right thing. And it's true. He has no problems. None of these CU buffs are problematic. Coach Prime don't play that. When I watched Bucky's drop of what happened today, you know, at practice or working out session, I heard Coach Swayze say, okay, so you know what an infraction is, right? You know, if you show up late, that's an infraction. And they getting judged on that kind of stuff. You know, if you show up and you don't have on your black socks with the right shoes, with your right uniform, you know that's an infraction. So they telling them the rules up front instead of waiting till something happen and say, you know, so they being proactive and they letting them know, look, this is what we expect. We expect you to be 15 minutes early. We expect you to wear black socks with this, with that. We expect you to be on time and dressed appropriately and come to work. They're not playing around them. They're not playing around them. And somebody joked and said, you got to bench 300 just to get in the program. I think it was a joke because it came out of Ben Finesse and said it. But I mean, I don't know. I don't know. And they had some new guys. We got somebody from Utah State. He introduced himself. You know, we have a wide receiver transfer from Florida State. Yeah. That's interesting. That wide receiver room is stacked. I'm just gonna say that. And you know, CU ain't playing. They don't play about character. You ain't gonna make it through the program with no character issues. And you know what CU basically said? Coach Prime said after Carmani, I don't care how many stars you have. If you don't come in here and do what you're supposed to do, you out. That was the message. And some people don't realize it. That's why some people don't come to see you, because they know exactly who they are. So we probably not going to get nobody like that. And honestly, it was said that, you know, Carmani looked like he wanted to come back. And I was even thinking, y'all let me know, y'all think Coach Prime should have took him back like maybe this year instead of him going to Florida? And it's just us talking. It was hypothetically. This is not anything nobody's talking about. The reason why I asked, because y'all know how forgiving Coach Prime is. And I watched Carmani on a video with Florida. Somebody that played for the team was vlogging, you know, and they were walking into the facility and the whole parking lot was filled with Dodge Chargers, and they was in a little media room. But before that, he went to the locker area. Everybody had Jordan shoes. So, you know, it was all about, like, it was giving something. And I don't know what it was I was giving, but it was giving something. And it was not flashy. That's not the right term. The Dodge Chargers, the J's for the shoes, because they must have a Jordan deal. And then they went into the media room, and they would, you know, when they be in the media room and see you, they all be sitting down waiting. Not them. And Carmani got up and left when he saw the camera. It's like he didn't want to be. They came and sat next to him. He politely got up and left. And I was like, he don't like it though. So I said, I think this is a step down from CU. And he saw the camera and was like, I'm out. I'm out. So, I was just curious to see what y'all gonna say. My heart kind of go out to him, but he did it to himself. And it's a life lesson that we all got to learn. But it shows you could be a 5-star, the best in the country. He showed up out of shape because he was the one using the trash can, and Shedeur said it. So you wasn't working out. They expect when you show up to see you are in shape, that you can go ahead on out here and get these drills done. And I think a lot of the new ones, they don't come from that environment. So I just want to see what y'all say about that. I know Coach Prime forgiving. I'm not saying it's going to happen, but I just kind of feel bad for him because I know after being at CU and eating what they eat and having the environment that they have and going somewhere like that where it's just, a different vibe, it makes you feel like you made a mistake. And maybe that's what it's supposed to do, because it does seem like a step down to me. It does seem like a step down. CU is classy. It just is. I ain't going to say it's bougie, but it is class. It's a class act. And that's why Sheduer is a class act. That's why Travis is a class act. So is Jimmy. So is LaJonte. That's why everybody had a grateful heart. Cameron, Silma Craig, and BJ Green. And Sheduer also posted out, thank you, God, out the blue. Cameron, Silma Craig, thank you, God, out the blue. That's who these guys are. They leave CU with a grateful heart. Love to see it. Maybe somebody should send Mary Catherine some footage. Maybe somebody needs to love on her a little bit. It ain't gonna be me, but maybe somebody needs to love on her a little bit. Somebody who God is finished with, because he's not finished with me. Because the reason I know her comments is off because I heard what she said and I was like, wait a minute, let me. I was like, oh, they turned the comments off. Oh my God, that's funny. But anyway, nobody seems to like her. That's why the comments off. So even people in Cleveland are seeing who Sheduer is, realizing he's a class act. What they said wasn't true. It was nice of her to echo that. But to basically talk about his past and not specify, anything about the current time or the time frame, or the fact that what he did at CU, I think that, what he did at in Cleveland, I think that that's misinforming and misleading people. So, well, Travis, they love him. So, that's good. I was like, well, we got one half of the dynamic duo on camera. Maybe Cleveland will finally give us the other half. So I was like, well, Travis did 11 on 11s today, and we get one day tomorrow in Cleveland, so we'll talk about Sheduer tomorrow too. Hopefully, we probably get to talk about both of them. So, and it seems like Baltimore is all about their vets. That's what I noticed. They show love on camera to their vets. They said 100 people came to voluntary OTAs, the vets, because why? Well, they said 100 people, but that can't be all vets. Didn't they have a 53-man roster? So I don't know. Maybe she meant vets and some other people. But they said they have over 100 people show up for voluntary OTAs because everybody was heartbroken after what happened last year. And they showed number 89 working out. And then they had one guy say something good about him. And, they would talk Isaiah Likely. They had Isaiah Likely, of all people, saying something good about number 89, when Isaiah Likely should have been the one to get that ball. And I think they do that intentionally. And, they seem to be all about their vets, though. That's just how I feel. So, LaJonte number 2 on the depth chart. So, I think he should be good. But I was looking out for him, but they cut right away when it was his time to go get the drill. But they made sure they get their vets in, and they cut it off at the rookies. So, we'll see. We'll see. But he number 2, so I feel like he's safe, Blessing Voorhees College and Prairie View repping. Glad to be here. Okay, Jay, thank you so much. Priscilla said, yeah, she's drinking Kool-Aid. It seems like it. If I'm not mistaken, the rookies were told, yes, Charlotte, they were told to forget everything, and she bringing up the past. What up? What she said? Hey, Michael Smith, how you doing? Priscilla said, is she? No. 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 And if she was, somebody probably would have met her outside Costco by now. So no. They would have had to get her straight immediately. No, she's not. Exactly. Are you talking about Miss? Yes, I am. Angela C. I am. I'm a little late. It's okay. It's okay. I need the Browns organization to talk to her. Yeah, they do. Somebody needs to be like, hey, let me talk to you for a minute. You getting all of these people on us, and you can't even turn your comments on. It's so bad. So maybe you need to watch what you say. When you speak about Sheduer, please speak in current times since he's been with the Browns. They want to know what's going on now. The draft has ended. Something like that. Something like that. That's why the comments out though. I'm sure the comments being off is strange. It was just that video. If you go look at all the clips, unless they went back and updated it since I was looking at it, the clips, the ones that they, cut out and put in what they want, the comments were still on. The comments were still on. And those seem a bit friendlier. Those seem a bit friendlier because they chose what to allow in and what to edit out. And if they use an AI to do that, the AI did a brilliant job. But I don't think it is. I think it's a person. So yeah, the Browns organization need to say, hey, let me put some time on your calendar. Just go put some time on her calendar. And when she sees it, she's gonna be like, oh, I must be in trouble. Yes. Yes. You most definitely are. You most definitely are. Especially if I didn't come to you first and ask you if you have availability. I just went to your calendar and said, okay, this is what it is. I don't care if you got time, get here. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. So yeah, I'm sure that's so funny. It says we might as well get ready to boycott and make some noise. Why, Priscilla, you think that they're going to go ahead on and release him? I mean, actually, I'm probably going to want to throw a parade. I'm like, because if Joe Flacco get to escape that place, it's like a circus. It's like a circus. And the rest of them, they just tune it out so they could just be happy. But that's a circus. It is right now. It is definitely a circus right now. And it most definitely was in 2023. And they went from being playoff contenders to 3-14. Yeah. Circus. It's a revolving door for quarterbacks. Sheduer not going to be there that long. Yep, they want to spoon feed us lies. Right. And I'm so glad that this is the last week for OTAs. So we only get one day tomorrow. And then after that, I don't know what happens. If anybody has any insight what happens after OTAs for rookies, let me know. I know there's a mandatory veteran camp. So I'm thinking maybe rookies get free time. Maybe Travis going his honeymoon. That's what I'm thinking is getting ready to happen. But somebody let me know. They want to illustrate Sheduer with a dirty paintbrush. Right, Salafi. And I think that feeds into what whoever said it earlier. They're going to say he's not ready. And that's why he's not starting. So that might be why we need to boycott. Because we have seen with our own eyes what she wasn't even talking about. So, and that could be why she's not talking about it, because they just want that to stick. But she knows it's not going to stick. That's why the comments are off. Priscilla C. Oh, okay. Somebody was updating Priscilla. It says his game is his fame. Right. And they don't want to look at it like that. Thank you for that, Political Lil. Yeah, don't forget to hit the like button. 84. That's good. That's good. 84 and 63. Just take a minute and hit the like button. And thank you for sharing the video. I appreciate that too. Mary Karen is female Sean Keeler, reporter banned by. Okay, that's a good analogy. That is a good analogy, Blue Moon. Y'all remember that reporter that was harassing Coach Prime from somewhere in Denver? He was a local reporter and he got banned and he worked for CBS. They're comparing Mary Catherine to Keeler. That's his name. Yeah. And it's crazy because CU football games was on CBS. I don't know if they are this year. I would think maybe they are, but we're going to see. That's a good analogy, Blue Moon. Thank you for that. You just follow Sheduer Daily. Good. Sheduer Daily on Insta and X. Yes. That channel seems to be pretty up. The Truth, yes. It said we see. It said he got a pick. Who you talking about? Travis exposing the truth. It says you get to X quick because X gonna give it to you. Right. That's actually why I'm on X, because that's where everything comes from. So, by the time it get, I don't know, to YouTube, it's already been on X and it made its way. I'm not that active on TikTok. I'm on TikTok, but I like Twitch, X, because that's where all the sports people are. Everybody has an account. When they put out their socials, they all have X. So that's really why I went to X. And I'm starting to get a lot of love on there. So y'all check us out on X, What She Said Sports. I normally repost with a quote. So to give our opinion and like hashtags, Go Buffs or Coach Prime or Shedeur Travis or any of the guys. Like Jordan Seaton, I reposted today about him with a quote. So yep, X is first. It says, people were hating saying it's just the Jags wide receivers are not good. Like, just admit he's good. Trav is good. That interception Trav had today, and he did good on the wide receiver side. See, some people want to say he's a better corner than he's a wide receiver. We heard that whole comment. But when they saw him balling as a wide receiver, they were like, what? I'm like, he's a two-way player. That's why he won the Heisman. But, I don't know. They just didn't want to see it. But you can't ignore it. You can't ignore it. And now a lot of people are looking at the Jaguars like, oh, they're going to have a good season. They're going to have a really good season. Another team people say is going to have a good season are the Carolina Panthers. I saw, like I said, Bryce Young throwing a dime today. DOT, he did good, but he finished the season with 3 solid games. So he's just continuing on, from last year. Travis going to be a monster. Yep. Travis play ball like, just like without a conscience. And what I mean by that is he's a master with technique and doing this and doing that. And it's not like he's stopping to think, maybe I should do this, maybe I shouldn't do that. He just playing. No, like people say when you talk, some people have no filter. You just going for it, just free. And he played a game like he's playing street ball. That's how he plays. Like there are people that play, like they used to have something called and1 basketball. It's street ball. Then you have regular basketball. Travis plays football like he playing street ball. Like he just gonna go up and get it. I'm not gonna stop and think about, am I gonna get hurt? Is this gonna happen? Is my foot over here? I'm just gonna make it happen. And that's what he does. He's a playmaker. He's a playmaker. That's exactly what he is. K Hayes says, that was me. I said earlier, they will say he's not ready. Okay, so we found the person that said it, K Hayes. They will say he's not ready. That's what it looks like she's painting. And I feel like, she was basically trying to say, honestly, to say Kenny Pickett needs to learn the schemes and the terminology. That's what it was. I mean, that don't sound difficult, right? Dylan Gabriel has a learning curve. That sounds like he got an uphill battle. He's going to have to apply some effort sometime. But again, I don't know if she's talking about college or now because she didn't say. And then Sheduer, I figured out what she was talking about when I heard her say FBS. I said, she's talking about college. So, I think K Hayes might be right. They're going to say he's not ready to start. So in other words, they're looking for a reason. But people going to be standing on their heads because they have already seen that he's the best person. And if Kenny Pickett start, it's going to be a revolt. His stats not good. When you have just as many career touchdowns as you have career interceptions, like they basically the same, you should not be starting. That's why he was a backup in Philadelphia. So shout out to DTR because he made it. That's where he is. It said another thing that started to get on my nerves. People trying to tell 12's fan how to be the fan. Are you talking about Shedeur or Travis? This is why I don't call him 12. Are you talking about Shedeur or Travis? Yeah, nobody gonna tell us how to support these. We've been supporting. They knew. We're not. And that's what they need to understand. So when you're new to a situation, when you walk into a room and they're already with people having conversations, be polite and wait your turn and speak. That's it. But you don't interrupt. You don't take over the conversation. And you definitely don't try to hijack the conversation with your negativity. Because what happens when that happens, when you walk into a room and you just start popping off at the mouth, nobody was talking to you, and you don't even know the context. When she talked about his sex, I'm like, she said nothing about his O-line. It's like she was intentionally painting a negative picture, like K-Head said, to say he's not ready. So when they make their decision, he's not ready. A few days ago, it looked like he might get cut. Now it looked like Flacco might go, but then Sheduer is not ready. I don't see Flacco going nowhere if Sheduer is not ready. She's saying if one of the rookies, you talking about Sheduer or Dylan, can get it. mean, Sheduer can get it if we just talk about what he did in practice, but we not. You talking about what he did at Colorado, and I don't know what the hell you talking about with Dylan. Are you talking about right now, or are you talking about Oregon? Because I don't know. So how are we supposed to know what's really going on? There's no transparency when you take things out of context and don't tell people what it is you're talking about. And that's what I don't like, because it seems intentional. That's what I'm saying. So yeah, tomorrow we will be watching. Understand that. And they know it. They know we're going to be watching. And it's not just us too. The regular media, they want to see too. They want to see. They already on this Sheduer should start. Sheduer basically, is the best one they have. This, that, and the other. And some podcasters are also too. Sheduer is ready to dominate. That's the term I think I saw today. Ready to dominate, right? And then you still got Colin Cowherd, who was a hater, and you got to look at him with healthy skepticism to why he thinks Sheduer should start, because he didn't think he should be a high draft pick. So, but I don't really look at them. I don't really look at them. I do look at other YouTubers, because people are kind of in their own silos, coming up with their own thoughts and their own opinions, unless they got a group chat that I don't know about, and I'm cool with that. Everybody seems to be doing their own thing out of respect for each other. So everybody has their own thoughts on how they want to, talk about this situation. So when I see YouTubers kind of on the same wave that are independent of each other, I know that they're responding to current events. But when I see people like Mary Catherine essentially turning her comments off and speaking in the past about Sheduer when he's been in Cleveland since before rookie minicamp, and not addressing rookie minicamp, not addressing expectations for OTAs, not addressing OTA session 1 or OTA session 2, it looks like something they're trying to set you up for. And I have seen the videos, he's good. It's just like the draft. When they started saying all these negative things about Sheduer, we were like, where the hell is this coming from? And now we know, because they were doing something that was asinine and evil. So is she setting us up for them to also, in Cleveland, after the draft, to continue with asinine behavior that is also evil? So they using Sheduer for clicks. They definitely doing that. He the hottest thing smoking. He is the hottest thing smoking on Cleveland's page. Now Trav taking over on the NFL page, but after the draft, they had Sheduer everywhere on the NFL, and people called that out. They made videos about. It's crazy how they pushed him down and said he wasn't good, but they're using him for clicks. People have been pointing it out, and Cleveland is just continuing on with what the NFL was doing. And it seems like Mary Catherine is doing the same thing they did in the draft, building us up with some ridiculousness that have you asking, what have you been looking at? And that makes you, that signals, it's like the same playbook. They just took it from the league overall to the team. And like Kay Hayes said, oh, they're going to say he's not ready. If they say he's not ready with the talk about what happened at Colorado, it's not going to be pretty. It's not. Because people are already looking side-eyeing Cleveland anyway. So basically, once again, Sheduer has checked all of the boxes, just like in the draft. And they already knew what they wanted to do in the draft well before the combine. So it's likely they knew what they wanted to do with Sheduer well before Cleveland selected him, because I told you he was going to be an undrafted free agent. So they could just be picking up from that plot and either going to waive him or maybe to avoid people boycott them, they might just put him on a practice squad. That ain't going to work either. Because people already know he's the best. And then people going to accuse him of all sorts of kind of things again. So you bitching him and he's the best, just like you did Joe Gilliam. Title VII. Somebody always put Title VII in the chat. You know what Title VII is? The Civil Rights Act of 1964. And that's what they would be in violation of again. It's the same thing they have done to all black QBs. Right, JFig? Absolutely right. It's called branding, meaning they will try to destroy his character. Right. I think what they're trying to do is snuff out his celebrity, his fame. I think they think if they don't show us Sheduer, we're going to go away. No, that's not how social media works. We're going to be right there tomorrow standing on their heads, waiting to see this footage from 11 on 11s, and you better show up with it fast because the media is going to be there. See, that's the beauty. Now we get people who are not her. See, that's what they want to do. They like to contain everything and send her out here. But you see what she show up with. Did she ever go to a CU game? But she really talking about CU right now. And that's why the comments are off. That's what they want to do. That's what they're used to doing. Just run with this narrative. That's what they're used to doing. But social media, you can't do that. And then they want to pick and choose, who is the media that comes. But when they get video and post it, I can see for myself, I don't need you to say anything. We all saw for ourselves that Sheduer balled out in rookie minicamp. It was days before we saw his stats, and they still never talked about it. And then when he went to OTAs and balled out, then they put out some stats, and people quickly noticed that he didn't get 11 on 11 reps, and they wanted to know why. And here we are again, it's closed. It'll be open tomorrow, and then it's supposed to be closed Thursday. And I think they feel like they can control the situation if they close it. But when all the other friends, when you see Jacksonville showing Trav off, when you see Baltimore showing off their people, you see the Carolina Panthers with transparent, letting us see what they have going on. It just looks fixed. And it looks like you getting ready to do something and you're going to be lying. So it's going to be a lot of people wanting to see that OTA footage tomorrow. And not just to see if he does good. We know he's going to do good. We don't want you to tell us nothing. We want to see for ourselves. That's why people want to see the footage. We want to see for ourselves because she lying again. She bringing up Colorado. He been wearing that 12 since he been there. I can see Flacco maybe starting out the season, and after a few games, by game 7, bring in Sheduer unless Flacco goes undefeated and he doesn't hit a wall. I agree. I could see that because I'm pretty sure that's what they're hoping for by loading his contract with $13 million, filled with incentives, because you expecting him to be able to do something he hasn't done since 2017, and I don't know how well he did it then. You know what I'm saying? And he was on your practice squad in 2023, and here's what they did. They went about the 7 games, just like you're saying, Queen. They went about 7 games, but they split it between all quarterbacks, 3 quarterbacks, and none of them could take the credit. And then they handed over a winning record to Flacco, and he was supposed to take them in the postseason. But in that last regular season game, he got injured. He got hit. Just like Pat Mahomes got hit in the Super Bowl, pretty much. Maybe with not as much force, but you could see when he didn't play in that, I guess, like the divisional game or whatever that was, you knew it's because he got hurt. And he was 2 years younger then. He's 40. And people are pointing out, that man is 40 years old. I don't know what y'all expected, but nobody talks about the fact that he has not played a regular season game since 2017, and they handed him a winning record. So I think they're going to do the same thing. I think they're going to start with Flacco. Remember, the goal is keep away QB1 for Sheduer, which is why she out here talking about Colorado and out of context, not even discussing the O-line. Just discussing how many sacks he had as if he just wanted to be sacked 94 times. That should make you ask questions. Was the O-line good? But no. So her conversation was intentional, which is why the comments were off. And that's ugly. But then when she see him, she going to want to be all in his face. And y'all know she is. She going to want to be all in his person. And that's aggressive. That's microaggressions. You out here saying negative things about me, taking things out of context. You're not telling them about the good I'm doing here, but now you want to be in my face. Bet. Because that's essentially what she did when they were at that cooking event. Mary Kay mentioned his play. The reporter that was on the Rich Eisen show and his first play in minicamp weren't good. He drifted back too far. Tony Gross, okay. Cyllin Brooks Dylan Brooks looks better. They are setting it up. Right. They setting it up. And she's saying he's drifting back. That's not a reason to bitch anybody, but understand this. There's a 5-star QB named Keelan Russell down in Alabama. And they were doing their 11 on 11s in spring. And he threw an interception. Y'all know they benched him for a career backup and a relative unknown third string because he threw one interception. Isn't Joe Flacco still in the hunt? Isn't Dylan Gabriel still in the hunt? You see what I'm saying? So if Sheduer goes tomorrow and he don't throw an interception, is he going to get the starting job? No. But if he throw an interception, they're going to say he's not ready. She said Dylan has a learning curve. She didn't use the word he's not ready. But again, I don't know what she's talking about because she didn't say he got a learning curve from Oregon or he got a learning curve since he been here. I don't know because she didn't say. But she is talking about Sheduer drifting back in the pocket. And I'm like, okay, isn't that what you're supposed to do? Isn't that what camp is for, to work on things? But they using it to negate him and keep away QB1. But they're not using Joe Flacco being 40 and already being injured in their 2023 season after they handed him a winning record. And when they say Flacco should start and play the first 7 games and you hand it off to Sheduer, you must think Sheduer is good because that's your closer. And your closer is supposed to be solid, whether you a lawyer, whether you a doctor doing surgery or anything. If you running track and you doing a relay race and you the last one, the last leg, everybody know the last one is solid. So Sheduer has to be solid to close because why would you let Flacco go say 7-0 hypothetically and then give it to Sheduer who you think is not ready so he could just dismantle it? Why would you do that? It should be the other way around. But they say their schedule is harder up front. But again, you don't give it to somebody like the guy they gave it to in 2023. That game was a blowout loss because Flacco couldn't play. And they're going to end up in the same situation because I don't see how he can take hits from people that are that young with that type of muscle, that type of intensity. It didn't work before, but, hey, they just want to tout that he was 4-1. I'm like, but you didn't say that he wasn't available for the most critical game of the year, which would take you to the next level. You had to put in somebody who didn't even play at all. And that's why I don't know how Kevin Stefanski has a job. Because he clearly had 3 quarterbacks in rotation game 1 through 7 and did not go back to either one of them. And when Flacco was playing, some of his snaps were shared with who? DTR, who they just traded to Philadelphia and put behind Jalen Hurts. And they get Kenny Pickett. I don't know what the hell they make decisions on. There's definitely not winning. I don't know how Cleveland fans want to pony up money to go to these games. They just must want to just be somewhere on a Sunday or something. Because, follow how the media is building the current narrative. So get ready for the next phase of the National Foolishness Organization. Yep, I believe it. And with everybody coming out after Coach Prime spoke out on Asante Samuel's page, yeah, I think the people that were sitting at the desk with the one guy from Get Up, they were uncomfortable. It's like they didn't expect whoever that guy was. It was 1 black guy and 3 white ones. They didn't expect that black guy to say what he said because they were like, I'm shocked right now. That's how they look. And it looked genuine. It looked like he caught him off guard. Like he came to work and said, you know what, I'm going to just speak my piece. And that's good. That's good. I think MKC is saying Dylan will be allowed to make mistakes. Probably so. Because, here's what I noticed from the 2023 season. And I would have to be completely bored to go watch the 2024 season because they went 3-14. And I don't like to waste my time. But I might have to go see what they did in the preseason because then it sets a pattern that they tend in the preseason to go with quarterbacks that don't play in the regular season. So it's almost like, I'm assuming they let the practice squad play because when I looked at who made the 53-man roster in 2023 as quarterbacks, it was Deshaun Watson and DTR, I think, maybe. And then, of course, they had other people. But in 2023, the 2 people who played in the preseason games didn't see any action in the regular season. So it's like they let their practice squad play. So that means we should see Sheduer, not that he's on the practice squad, But if that's how they want to continue, and I need to go look at 2024 and see who was the quarterback. Because see, they only had like 2, maybe 3 quarterbacks in 24. Deshaun Watson, and he must have got hurt, and then Winston took over. And I'm thinking they didn't expect Winston to really play as much. And he didn't have a good one. And I don't know why. I didn't look into it. So, it just seems to me that we should see Sheduer. That's why I made the video this morning at 12:30 when I said, well, since they had 5 quarterbacks take snaps as starter in 2023, we ought to see the whole crew. And honestly, if you did it before when you had Flacco and you had him on the practice squad because you knew. See, they knew Flacco couldn't play a whole season. They knew it then. But then you bring him back now, offer him $4 million. You paying him essentially what you paying Sheduer. But he's supposed to be right now 3rd on the chart. But they basically making him the de facto until maybe he threw this interception today. And maybe that's why she changing her tone and saying, if one of the guys, meaning Dylan or Sheduer, looks like they could carry it, then they would move away from Flacco. I'm like, hell, I keep Flacco and get away from Kenny Pickett. Because why? I mean, Flacco, to be honest, you could go with Sheduer. You could go with Dylan and Flacco. That's what I would do. I mean, Kenny Pickett's career numbers are not good. Your interceptions and touchdowns should not be the same or close. Look them up. I'm telling you, that's not good. But people say they really think Kenny Pickett is the odd man out. But she says it could be Joe Flacco. So Flacco is going to be on that high octane juice. He going to have to be, bro. He know when we saw him take that hit, and I was thinking about trying to see if I could get a clip of it. Let's just say if you saw the Super Bowl and what happened to Pat Mahomes, just dial it back a little bit. And that's exactly what happened to Joe Flacco. His face, he got hit like right here and it got turned to the side. I know he had a whiplash or something. And that was 2 years ago. He was younger 2 years ago. So I don't know. It said he was drafted to be a backup, period. Yeah, I think so too. Most QBs on those blue blood teams only okay for 3 years. Yeah, because they don't have no real competition. See, Sheduer the most battle-tested QB. I hate to say it, but if he start, he gonna finish the season. And they know that. They know that. So they got to move very carefully because there's some variables happening. Us is one. And I mean his fan base. Let's see. The next one, they don't really care. I don't think they care what the fans think. I don't. So you already got, they under a microscope. We all watching. So maybe we can't cut him because, he sold them our jerseys and then they going to be yelling at us, try to hold us accountable. So maybe we keep him, but we can't keep him on the practice squad. But we can't let him get QB1. So maybe we put him at QB3 and we start Kenny Pickett and then maybe we just keep Joe. And we'll just let everybody play like we did in 2023 when we had Joe. And then we'll just let Joe start or Kenny start. And then we'll just, when we get to the easy part, if we got a winning record, we'll just keep going. They might not let neither one of them play except for preseason because that's what it looks like they do. But understand they are playing keep away from QB1. Mary Catherine should not be talking about Colorado. She should be saying, well, when he was in rookie minicamp, he did really good. He drifts back in the pocket a little bit, but that's nothing we can't work on. Right. Tell him don't drift back in the pocket. How hard is that? It's probably something he been doing because he got to run for his life, but that's not a deal breaker. If you have somebody on your roster where interceptions and touchdowns look like fraternal twins, I'm sure Sheduer drifting back in the pocket is not something that cannot be developed. And it's not a deal breaker. Flacco's 40. That wasn't a deal breaker. He couldn't get you to your playoff game or your divisional game. That wasn't a deal breaker. So it's that kind of thing. So even with them trying to trump up things, trying to make up stuff, it's not going to be able to stick. Because if the world hears her say what she said on that podcast about Colorado and not Cleveland, they're going to go in on her. And they know that because that's why they turned the comments off. So, yeah, that is what it is. So All right, y'all. So we've been here an hour and 19 minutes. We're gonna get out of here. We made it to 79 likes, 84. Thank you. But we got 73 likes. So y'all got the likes up for us. Thank you, thank you, thank you so much. So we'll be back tomorrow at 12:30. I already have an idea of what we're gonna talk about. So I'm looking forward to that show. Today was wonderful. Thank y'all for the engagement. 12:30, 4 o'clock in the huddle and midday huddle. And now, the daily podcast. It don't have a name. It's just when we all get together. And it was great. So tomorrow, 11 on 11 OTAs with Sheduer. Everybody gonna be talking about it, and we gonna want to know about it, and I'm gonna be on it. And then we want to see what else going on with Travis. I'm interested to see how many days the Jaguars had open OTAs, because they were open today and Cleveland was closed. So if the Jaguars are open again tomorrow, that tell me Cleveland is doing their own thing. And that's going to be a question too. So why y'all just didn't do OTAs? If you use him for clicks and people want to see, why are you closing it? And that's a real question that could be asked. So we just have to see what happens with the Jaguars. We'll check on Tampa and see what's going on with Shiloh. And then Carolina, we'll just see if Jimmy Horn Jr. made it back. I'm going to check the depth chart and see if I can find BJ Green and Cameron Similcraig to see where they are placed on the Jags depth chart, because I don't really know their jersey numbers. I think that's why I don't see much of them, because I don't know who I'm looking for. Like when I looked today for receivers, I knew that LeJounte was number 83. So that kind of thing. So I'll check the depth chart and see where they are. All right, y'all, we're going to get out of here. This was awesome. And we'll just, be back tomorrow, 12:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. More What She Said Sports. I truly appreciate y'all. Y'all make this so much fun. I look forward to it. So thank y'all for showing up for me, and I'll keep showing up for y'all. Thank you so much. Have a good night, everybody. Yeah, Kay Hayes, they said Jimmy have a hamstring. Get a drone and fly over to tape Deion Sanders Jr. What is Deion Sanders Jr. doing, Elaine? Let me know. Good night, everybody. Good night, good night, good night. Y'all can email me too at what is it? What She Said Sports 404@gmail.com. If you have a link or something you want, a story or something to share. Thank you to the media team, Charlotte, Tina, Jerry. Y'all are on it. Thank y'all so much. Salafi, I appreciate you guys. Thank you so much. And thank you for your patience, because I can't always respond right away, but y'all are very gracious for when I do respond. So thank you. All right. Have a good night. Thanks for watching What She Said Sports. Do not forget to hit the like button on your way out. Close OTAs. Get a drone. Oh, okay. I like it. Okay, Elaine. I like that. Quick on your feet. That's good. Okay, y'all. Have a good night, everybody.